What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Duel, back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about everything coming in Diablo 4 Season 7, and then we're going to get into a little bit of Path of Exile, because if you're in the ARPG space at all, how can you not talk about Path of Exile? It was a crazy launch. But without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So, right off the presses, Season 7 PTR is going to start on 12/3, which is ironically 3 days before the launch of PoE 2. So probably not a lot of people are going to be playing in the PTR unless you're a content creator and this is your job. So hats off to you, I guess. You're going to be getting ready for PoE 2. So anyway, Season 7 class updates. Now, I just want to preface this with the fact that they mentioned that every class is pretty much going to get buffed except for Spiritborn, where Spiritborn is going to be brought down to earth and nerfed essentially. So Barb's going to get a lot of buffs, and then it's going to get upgrades to Hoda and Leapquake. Sorcerer, Fireball Enchantment, and Devouring Blaze got nerfed. Ball Lightning is buffed. Druid has got Shred buffed, and Boulder does poison damage now. And then they got Hurricane spreading to wolves. Rogue has Shadow Clones that got significantly buffed, and then they can trigger left-hand damage modifiers and multipliers. Caltrops, they removed the jumping backwards animation, which is a huge W, and we'll talk about that specific example near the end, just because I want to talk about it. And then Necro, they got Blood Overpowering significantly buffed, and then Blood Wave also has competing uniques, Converging Waves, and Bone Prison at the end. And then, of course, Spiritborn got nerfed. General game updates, Ultimates, rank 5, it gives you extra powers, and then there's 2 ultimate legendary powers. And then with Rune Words, they're doing some Rune Word redesigns. I took a look at them. They don't really look that crazy of changes. They're minuscule. They're probably good changes, but they're just not. I don't know. We'll talk about it later. But they're changing Rune Words. They're updating them, so I guess that's good. Season 7. This is where we get into the meat and potatoes of what is actually coming to Season 7. So seasonal content on the PTR, which they said that they've never done before, and I'm pretty sure. I feel like they have, haven't they? Because season 5 they had in a PTR, and then they addressed it. But I guess because it came to Eternal Realm, that it wasn't technically a seasonal thing. But I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't really matter. However, the season theme is going to be witchcraft, and they basically showcased it, and it looks exactly like season 2. They made some quality of life changes from season 2 that people that did not like. And then another thing that they mentioned is that Paragon will be passive to your Eternal character. So what that means is that, let's say you get to like level 200 on your seasonal character, all of your experience from your seasonal character goes to your normal character, and I'm pretty sure this is how it worked in Diablo 3. But that's cool. It's a good addition to the game, right? And so we're getting a seasonal tab, and they gave us quality of life UI changes, which is really good. And this season theme kind of borrows buffs whispers, and there's like a focus on whisper caches and upgrading the whispers, completing whispers faster, and doing those types of things, which I think is good, because it does feel good to fill that bar all the way up. And so that dopamine of, hey, I filled the bar up and I'm getting a chest and things are flying out and I'm getting gear. Hopefully it's good gear, but that good dopamine hit of maybe you get something good is good. I think that's a good step in the right direction. Hopefully they do more things with whispers, but I'm really liking this direction. So when you complete new whispers, you get new witchcraft unlocks after. You get special powers in the world. There's this new activity called headhunts. There's a new Helltide. They literally called it Purple Helltide in the stream, I want to say. Purple Helltide, so exactly like Season 2, except it's not Green Helltide. There's going to be new whispers and new quests, new bosses, and if you go down and hunt these bosses, these head hunts, and you give them to the Tree of Whispers, you're going to get occult gems, which is new gems they're adding for the season. So once the season ends, these gems will be gone, and the unique effects that they basically make it so that you can tweak your build more. So let's see what else we got here. I mentioned they're only going to be in Season 7. New Tree of Whispers Town, which I think is good. And then there's going to be like a Ravens of the Tree, which you can turn in Grim Favor. So basically it's like a instead of having to go to the same location every time to turn in your Tree of Whispers bar, there's going to be spots around the map that you can turn in your whispers. Paragon XP moves in on season. Already talked about that. Number of GAs on an item increases the unique powers. This is massive W. We needed this. Ancestral items have been buffed, and I think they're actually dropping more as well. If I remember correctly, they buffed the rarity of them as well. So meaning you're gonna get them more often, which is good. This is a huge W, and then we'll talk about the last thing, and then we'll talk about a little bit about Path of Exile. Now they made it so that you only have to do class quests one time. It's one and done, and that's it. So if I'm on a druid, and oh my god, druid is the best example for this, because doing druid class, the class mechanic for it is terrible. Just takes forever. I feel like it's the slowest one. Somebody at Blizzard hates the druid for some reason. I don't really know why, but it just takes forever. So now, let's say you start the season, you do the druid, you do the class quest. Next season, you make a druid again. You don't have to do it ever again. Thank God for that. And then finally, we are getting the Armory officially confirmed. Season 7 Armory loadouts are finally here, and it's a free update to the game, thank God. But it's a huge W, massive W. Final thoughts. I think this is really good. I think the season is going to be really fun, just because everybody loves Season 2, and we have not gotten another season like that since Season 2, so I think it's going to be really fun. However, my only, if I have to have issues with that, is that it doesn't really innovate the game further ahead, I guess I should say. Like, the expansion was cool and all, we got a new class, but what I would like to see is what we were kind of expecting with rune words is that when you slap a rune word on and you get these powers, it like significantly changes your game. That being said, like I said, I think the season will be fun. It's just not innovative, I guess I should say, because literally they're just taking a theme from the previous season and slapping it into this season. I don't know who at Blizzard needs to hear this, but like, it really does feel like they do the bare minimum they can to get the next season done, and by the time season feedback is already given, like the PTR happens, content creators play it, players play it, they give the feedback, and then they make the changes after season has already launched. So we're talking about almost a mid-season update, all the issues that people have had. Then they update it. By this time, the peak of players playing is going like this already. So people are already dipping out. They've played the season. They've maxed out their character. Blah, 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 blah. You get the idea. So, and which brings me to my next point is that we are in this constant state. And I made a video about this, but I didn't want to upload it because it just seemed really negative. And maybe I'll upload it another day if this continues to be a trend, which it seems to be, is that like all these changes are good, and I'm not complaining. I'm glad we're getting them. Glad we're getting the Armory. Glad we're getting a season that has something like Season 2 and kind of like Season 1 with the occult gems. But there's this weird thing where quality of life additions to the game are part of the season. As like a season feature, like, hey, look, we're giving you the Armory. Yeah, like, okay, thanks, we needed that. Hey, we're gonna change the color of the mythics. It's purple and it makes a different noise. Yeah, it's part of the season. Yeah, like these are things that needed to be in the game on launch, and I'm really trying not to be negative, but it just feels really weird. It's like a reactive. Hey, look. We did the thing everybody wanted. Clap for us. It's like, thanks, but why wasn't it in the game before? Again, not trying to be negative. It doesn't feel good when part of the season mechanic is a major quality of life change. That being said, at least they're coming, but the players want something that they're not expecting. And here's the thing. Blizzard has kind of fallen off, obviously, within the last 10 years. And because of that, people have already made up their minds that Blizzard already sucks. So when you give the players something that, isn't really innovative in changing the space. And I'm not saying that the season needs to be groundbreaking and break the world and change the entire genre. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying that players already have it in their mind that they hate Blizzard. So then you're giving them a reason to hate you. Oh, you just gave us the Armory. Wow, this is the season of the Armory. Whoopity-doo. Thanks, Blizzard. I already hate you. This sucks. You know what I'm saying? So, which leads into my next point, which is Path of Exile 2. Now, Path of Exile 2 If you haven't seen or heard, they had a massive stream over the weekend. It was over an hour long, maybe even 2 hours with the Q&A, but it was crazy. And I want to say, I think when I was watching it, the stream actually broke because they had so many people watching it, and it was so crazy. And I know people at Blizzard were watching it, and they were hopefully taking notes because this is. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I had no intentions of playing PoE 2. I was not gonna do early access just because I have too much shit going on and too many other games I want to play. Currently on the Dark Souls grind, but that's another story. But yeah, but I saw the stream and I was like, know what? No, I'm gonna give you my $30. I'm gonna play this game. This looks amazing. I'm very excited. The graphics look good. Cinematic looks good. All the systems not too complex. They are a little complex, but they're not crazy, right? They're not unlearnable. Well, none of the systems in PoE 1 are unlearnable, but you just have to put in a massive amount of time, which most people don't want to do. But they've simply taken the most popular mechanics of PoE 1 and put them in PoE 2 and improved upon them, and the barrier to entry looks to be a lot easier. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that Blizzard really needs to stop this. They need to, instead of being reactive, they need to be proactive and changing things that actually change the game. Like when Rune Words came out, they were like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna break the game. I'm excited to see all the people that are gonna break the game." And guess what? The game did get broken, but it was just more damage. Like, give us something that's gonna change the gameplay, man. Like, give me a Rune Word that like purple wings pop out of my druid and I start flying around. Like, what the heck? What is happening here? Give me I don't know. Give me a sorcerer where I get a rune and a giant dragon pops out of my scepter and starts literally doing like this whip motion and starts killing things and me. Like, I don't know, man. I'm not saying you need to go that crazy, but like something that were like it significantly changes how you play the game, so that when you get that Rune Word, you're like overly excited, jumping over the moon. And you're like, man, that's so cool. I want to do that. Instead of it being this weird meta where these metas have to do with just insane damage and broken builds and they're not even intentional. They're broken because they're bugs. And every game has bugs. That's going to happen. I'm not blaming Blizzard for that. I'm just saying, like, the things that are making the game innovative are bugs and not actual features intended by the developers. And I'm not trying to shit on the developers here. It just really feels like they need to step up their game. Hopefully they watch the Path of Exile 2 stream and they do exactly that. I think this is a W for both Path of Exile and Blizzard because this just inspires Blizzard to do better, hopefully. And, they need competition, obviously, clearly. They are not the leader in the space anymore. It is obviously Path of Exile. Granted, the game hasn't even come out yet, and people have not beaten the game and all that stuff and played, but more than likely, it's going to be the king in the genre. But anyway, that's pretty much going to do it for this video. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Feel free to like and subscribe. You're not obligated to, but it really helps out the channel. And once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!